think Anna told me a lot of things about Finnish education systems, about the school, and I'd like to know more about your own job as a teacher or assistant. Yes, what is your daily tasks? How do you consider teaching profession and your role in a primary school? Because primary school is particular. What is the philosophy behind it? Why did you choose that profession? I will start with general questions about the philosophy. What do you think of your mission or your job as a teacher?
It's a very difficult question because you don't think it of in every day. But I think it's based on values you have and your how to learn and teach them. I think my philosophy is I try to teach children how to live and manage and survive in life in the future. Such skills and such things which are important in the future. You have to go ahead and you have to learn the social skills so that you are managing in the life, and the social skills are the most important. I think they are even more important than the subject or the curriculum. If you manage social skills, you are managing every.
Especially at the primary school.
Yes.
Exactly.
Of course, the different subjects are very important, but the most important are social skills.
Yeah, I have pretty much the same philosophy, and as an assistant I feel that especially with the special education or special with the children who need special education and have special needs, my role is to teach them social skills. Of course we do math, and of course learning how to read is very important, so that when they go to upper classes they have fluent reading skills.
So even though there are, let's say, few students have special needs, but for you it's important to put stress on that,
Yes.
on that type of stuff.
And as an assistant I feel that I have a very mother kind of a role here at at school, and I'm a mother, so.
Yes. Actually, the older I get, the more mother-like I be. Actually, the more experience you got of teaching, the more you understand that the social skills are the basic skills you need.
What do Finns in general think about teachers? I'm a fan of Pasi Solberg. He was in the national board and he gives a lot of conferences to talk about Finnish education systems and defending public school. I heard him saying that in Finnish language, the etymological sense of for a teacher is like candle of society or something like that.
Yes. Yeah. It's a very common
sentence.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. In your opinion, what are the key success factors of Finnish schools?
I think that in the Finnish language is quite easy to learn to read, and reading is the key to the success, because we are pronouncing and spelling the words like we write them down, so it's quite easy. I think it's quite easy. It's much more easier as in Swedish or English or French or something. That's the first. The kids are learning to read quite easily, and quite young, and quite difficult kind of texts. And the other main key is, I think, that we have a very high education level of teachers. We go in the university for 5 years, but it's not easy to get in. It's very famous here in Finland somehow, so they are picking up the best.
Yeah.
And we have quite high standards to get in. There are tests, so if you are qualified or not. Are you really interested? Are you a suitable person or something else? I think these are the main issues.
Okay.
You asked for 3, but I don't.
No problem.
Yes.
2.
Yeah. I haven't really thought about those things, and that the learning thing that you mentioned is new to me, but that makes sense, of course. I've been studying French a little and other languages also, so it's easy in Finland or in Finnish language when we pronounce and write the same way.
We have 100% public
Almost,
service,
yes.
so it's free of charge, even in high education. I believe in public schools.
Yes.
So the Finnish model represents a hope for many people in other countries who believe in public schools. Are you confident about the future of public schools?
Yes, actually I live in this area, and there's Erna has surely told you how different background the kids have in this area because we are situated here in the middle of the town, and I'm very satisfied. Actually, my husband is too. We are I think I'm very confident of the future. I think it has to be. It has to be equality. Everyone has to have the possibility to learn, and even your background is not so good.
I guess you have a lot of training during the year. Do you have any training or courses that you have as a teacher to update your knowledge, your practices, and be more prepared maybe to behave and to teach this kind of new children, because they are different from 20 years ago.
We have 18 hours such a training which we have to do during the year. It's called VESO, and they are coming upper the subjects which we are learning. But then every teacher can go and train for some courses, or even in the university.
So you can ask for?
Yes, you can ask for some, or you can have some vacation and then you can study if you want to. Mostly I think it's about the 18 hours and then maybe 1 to 5 days from extra training. It depends. It could be mathematics, it could be the behavior system, it could be the computer, the ICT, or whatever you want to study. And the ICT is our main challenge at the moment because it's changing very fastly and we are so old and slow.
Yes, but you use a lot of ICT.
Yes. yes, we are trying. Okay.
Okay. Maybe I will switch to talk about your daily tasks as teacher or assistant. How do you spend your ordinary day?
So I've been working here for 6 years. I would prefer to call myself an instructor, not an assistant. The first year was in a normal class with the first graders, and now I've been working with preparing class with immigrants. I was there for 3 or so years, and now the last few years I've been working with the special needs or special education. Well, sometimes I'm in a classroom only with 1 student, and I work 28 hours per week and about 5.5 hours each day. I can be with 1 student doing math with him, and or then I work with the 3rd graders in a big classroom, and there I help usually all of them if they need help, or then I sit next to one of our students. And then in the afternoons I have physical education, not that many breaks, so it's coming and going all the time, and I drink my tea.
You don't have breaks because during breaks you look after.
Yeah, I usually have to be in a classroom where they can send the pupils if they have something problem, they fight or something, then they send them into the classroom, and one of us has to be there. And then there are students who can't go at all to the breaks, and then I do something with them or just watch them.
Carola has to be very flexible, and I admire it because it's not easy to go to work every morning and you don't actually know what's the schedule of the day is.
Okay. In PISA, in most PISA reports, they report that Finnish teachers spend less time in classroom than OECD countries in average, but do much more besides. So they do a lot of other things like preparing courses, planning, discussing with other teachers, collaborating, etc.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Yes, I think it's true.
Yeah, I think so too, that they are very, very busy doing something else than teaching in the classroom.
Yes, because we have very much other things to do. I call parents, I connect them, I have meetings with my colleagues, we are planning, we have schedules for the next weeks or the months or something, and we are discussing with the teacher about the children, quite much actually. And then we have, of course, we have the meetings, which are about 2 hours, so we are discussing about the kids and the situations and so on. And then of course, we have tests. We have to check out then how they are progressing. I'm doing quite much of work also at home because I live so nearby. So I think it's much easier to go home and work. I think we are discussing.
Yeah, and I think that teachers have a lot of, I don't know how they're called, but teams and groups. Teams that plan parties, teams that plan, and you have a lot of responsibilities. Some teachers are responsible for all of the computer stuff, and then there are councils like children councils and the parents' council, and teachers have to be part of them.
You're doing much more than just teaching.
Much more. Yes. I actually have to be honest because sometimes I feel that it would be so nice to teach
More.
Teach more.
But it's interesting that even if you teach less, PISA results are good for Finnish students.
Yes, maybe.
Maybe because students have short days.
Yes, I think we don't have too long days because I think that the longer days are not. They are not achieving the goal. It's not the amount of the lessons. It's the quality of the lessons and what and how you. Yes, if you are understanding the system, it's more valuable to have the shorter days because kids have rights to play.
Yeah. I did notice that in Harju, and I guess here also you do a lot of technical teaching like textile, wood, craft, metalworking, etc. I think the way you are doing things prepares them to be adults.
Yes, that's
and know how to repair things in their home. And, it's important to have this complementary subjects.
I think we still have it too little. It's too. I would like to have it more, even more. And we have been discussing of it in the past years that it should be more.
I will come back to special need or even struggling students. In some countries, unfortunately, when a student is struggling and that he has bad scores, and what some parents and most of parents do is to look for private teachers that come to home and give extra courses, explain things for money. I don't know if this exists in Finland.
No, I never heard. Okay. Someone can help, but it's only occasionally.
yeah.
But I have never heard that.
No, if some student is not progressing the right way, then we complain ourselves.
Yes.
For example, if some student is not doing good enough scores at tests, then we haven't been able to teach
the right
him.
way.
Then we have to change something.
And then we have this special teacher who is coming and look over and we have a discuss so that if the student needs special teaching, special teachers help.
In a smaller group.
Or smaller group, or of course it's there are some students who are not so motivated to study. Of course, it's not always our fault, even we are trying what someone doesn't learn like we would like to.
And in Finland nowadays, we set for each student, we set himself or herself his goals, her goals, how he tries to progress, improve. Not that the whole class has to do the same things, and if you're not doing this, then you're doing. For example, in our small group, we just made himself his own English test because I knew he couldn't do the same test as the big class. So we made him his kind of a test, and he got a score okay that way. Because he would, and for immigrant-based students, I noticed that this test was too complicated for him, so I made him a test from those words that I can expect that he knows. For example, what is important when you drive a bike in the traffic, so that he knows these signs are important to him. So I asked him those, and then he passes. But he couldn't pass the test that was for the whole class.
So you try to get him involved in rest.
And individual goals for everybody.
Okay.
And I think that's motivating.
I heard Pasi Solberg again saying that he believes that the only special student is a student who had never had a special class. Unfortunately, in many countries we tend to standardize tests, and we want all the pupils to pass the same tests with standard scoring and.
Yes, and like you wrote here, that is it true that the first standard testing is the matriculation examination at the age of 17, 18.
In many countries this is surprising because they don't understand. They say, okay, if you have one high stake, one national exam, how could you have accountability? How could you be sure that your students are progressing? I mean, if you have no national exam in between, how could you be sure about the quality? And I mean, this is an important difference in the philosophy. You are Finnish education is non-graded. You don't use grades to select children, to have failing children and successful children. You push all the pupils to forward. So
I think we bring the weakest one. We're taking care of them, so everyone is going forward.
And even with that, you're reaching excellence.
Yes, but I think I have a little. I feel that I should have more time to concentrate also to the talented one. And the talented one are the ones who I think we have to